Hey, hey, hey. Time for another out of this world story from rSpace. My fiancé, female 23, lied to me, male 26, for 3 months about wanting to fix our relationship, then cheated on me with a guy at work. This is a long read, but please take the time to read it. I want to share my story with everyone. We got engaged on August 22nd of this year. She said yes emphatically. We were living in an apartment together and then moved into a house together to rent. Things were going great in our relationship, I thought. Then about a week after we moved in, she was distant, dismissive. The night I noticed, I brought it up to her, and she was on her phone most of the time that I was talking to her. Throughout this whole story I'm telling, remember that she never stopped being dismissive. Fast forward a couple of weeks. We were going to go out for her birthday. It wasn't her birthday yet, just celebrating early. At the time, I wasn't happy at all because we were having problems. Work was difficult, and we had a cat that had to be put down. I was very sad that evening, and our friends noticed. On the way to the next place, it was her and I. She told me, "Get over it. Just be happy for me. It's my only weekend to go out for my birthday." That night, she actually got so drunk that she needed medical attention. I ended up calling an ambulance. She ended up saying I was dumb for doing that and didn't have to. She's originally from Ohio. We would visit her family often there. That weekend we went, she was again dismissive. She wasn't talking that much to me, not very touchy. The last night we were there, I broke down crying badly. I thought she was going to leave me. She saw me crying and she immediately said, "We need a break." And then she eventually announced that night that she's moving back to Ohio because she wants to be with family. This Ohio thing would be a theme that she wanted to move back, with or without me. We never took a break. We said we needed a therapist. She would never look for a therapist. I had to look. At this point, we hadn't had sex at all, in maybe a month. I came home from work one day and told her this needs to change. She said she didn't want to have sex with me, that she's taking interest in other guys. I thought because she was open about the other guys, she wasn't cheating on me. She didn't want to tell me which guys, but she finally said a guy she works with. We went on a date once trying to spark things again. She texted her girlfriend, "I would rather be with you, but I have to stay here and pretend like I wanted to be in this relationship." I glanced over and saw it. I called her out for it, and she made up this bull story. Another time she got annoyed with me and hit me in the face out of annoyance. Then, after, she said she wasn't apologizing for it, and I was an emotional pussy, and that's why she isn't having sex with me. On November 19th, she went on a girls' trip. The night before, I asked her to check in, to at least tell me she's okay. I didn't care who or what she was doing, just that she was okay. She never did. I had to ask her at 2 a.m. She said she was. Next day, she came back, said they were going out with the employees at the bar, and that a guy tried to feel her up. I thought it was odd she didn't tell me that the night before. Normally she would. I was suspicious, so I went through her phone. I found that she sent a picture of her and her friends' bare asses sent to another guy on Snapchat. I called her out for it, and she immediately said that I was weird and creepy for going through her phone. Then she walked out and went to a friend's house. We broke up for a couple of hours, but I somehow took her back after she pleaded we'd work on things and see the therapist we'd scheduled to see. That we haven't even tried therapy yet. So after this, I started putting pieces together. Around Thanksgiving, she started staying late at work. Her engagement ring would be left in the car when she got home, and around December 10th, I saw she was messaging the guy at work. We went to the city on December 11th, and I noticed her messaging him a couple of times that day too. I was upset. So the next day, I brought up all the red flags I noticed, and she said, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. When you say it all like that, it sounds horrible." This conversation was her getting defensive at first, then not, then again. She said all they talked about was work, so I asked her to see the messages. She said, "Trust me, I know how it feels. If you read them, you'll get mad." Later that night, we had planned to have a gaming night and spend time together. We were playing games and she looked at her phone a couple of times. She then all of a sudden didn't want to play games. She was tired. We laid down in bed so I can watch TV, and she sat perpendicular to me. I saw her aggressively scrolling up in her phone, and I knew she was looking for pictures. In my head, she's sending this guy nudes, right next to me. Her feet were touching me. Her phone lays next to me to charge. She turned over and I asked if she wanted to charge her phone. No response. I said 2 more things with no response. Like it was talking to a wall. 1 hour later, I got up. I slept on the couch and dumped her at 7 the next morning on December 13th. She didn't fight at all. She said, okay, and left for work. Later that day, she came back and gave me the ring. She told me she's been fooling around with this guy at work, that she's been lying about it. She told me she didn't think about me when she did too. She even wore the ring while cheating on me. She said everyone at work knew there was something going on with them. I asked how long it was happening. She told me she didn't know, maybe weeks. She eventually said to me, I didn't have sex with him, not yet at least. During this whole conversation, she couldn't look at me and she didn't say sorry. Our conversation ended. I went upstairs to call people. I came back down. She had left perfume out and hair in the shower. She went to go have sex with this guy. I also knew the person's house she was going to stay at. She wasn't there. That was it. That was the last in-person conversation we've had. Throughout these 3 months, we would have problems she would cause. I would want out. She would fight back and said we can fix it. Anytime I was upset or sad, she would get annoyed. She did because she said she felt bad for leaving like this, and it's affecting me. Along with this, she was dismissive. She didn't ask about me. Her friends didn't really talk to me anymore. She made it sound like I was the problem. She wouldn't kiss me, barely cuddle me. She would stay up late on her phone and not talk to me. Looking back, this was the worst 3 months of my life. I hated it, and I was extremely depressed. She knew that. She knew I was fighting for her. She didn't care. She didn't love me. Deep down, I knew she first cheated on me in September. I also believe she had sex with him multiple times already. Now that this is over, I can be happy. I'll have a scar forever for what this woman did to me. I can heal and be who I was again. As of this post today, I'm angry, sad, and confused. But I already feel better she's no longer hurting me. I'll never allow myself a woman to use my love against me and lie to me about everything. I'm happier without her. Update. She's officially moved out of my house. I feel like she's truly gone. I feel like I can finally move on with my life. She's now blocked on everything. No way to contact me. I'm so happy she's gone. I feel like I can truly smile now. Thank you everyone for the advice and support. Our first reaction from Accomplished Ferret 70. Jacadelics 11. I read your main post describing your breakup. I'm sorry that your girlfriend cheated on you and treated you badly in so many other ways. I know you're hurting, but you're handling yourself well. You should be proud. Best wishes. Next thought from Nervous Ad 714. Freedom is really nice to have. You save money. No arguing, no rules, no complaining, and no whining. It really has been great for me. Hope it is for you. Last thought before moving on from WGRC 1971. You dodged a bullet. You asked her earlier why she feels the way she does. Now, it officially doesn't matter. Welcome to the first day of the rest of your life. On to the next story. What goes through a cheater's head? I just don't understand how it could possibly work. How could a person step out on their significant other emotionally and still say they love you? How could the person that you belong to then keep that secret foreseeably forever without losing it? What if they do really love me and they just have problems? How do I prove it if they cheat on me multiple times? How do I actually believe the tears? Ask a question and get a response. First from Yano Raw. I would say there can be a vast number of different reasons. I've seen that the cheaters still want to keep the significant other for stability, whether that's emotionally or financially. I've seen cheaters stay until they find, in their eyes, a better partner, like not quitting your job until you have another one lined up. I've seen cheaters love a part of their significant other and try to find what they think is missing. I've seen cheaters do it just for the thrill because it's wrong. I've seen cheaters stay with their significant other because they love the person they used to be. I've seen cheaters keep their significant other because they're too weak and or cowardly to end it. I've seen cheaters who have everything they could ever want cheat to feel desired and for attention because they are a selfish, narcissistic egomaniac. The list goes on. Our next perspective comes from Tatty Cake. Had an ex try to break up with me for months, but just did progressively crappier and crappier things without actually breaking up with me. Made me question my reality. Gaslighting me to believe he wasn't paying for Tinder, even though I clearly saw it in an email. I kept going back to him for a while too, and he led me on and over again, thinking if I was able to change that things would be different, because he made me believe that I was the problem. It was maddening. I just wanted to be loved. I could probably spend the rest of my life trying to figure out why, but I am just happy to be out of that toxic cycle of sadness and heartbreak. Throwaway 1425704 says, because the cheater is in a bubble. They meet someone and it's dreamy. Compliments, flirting, etc. The affair is in a bubble that doesn't deal with real life. They don't worry about raising kids together, paying the bills, sick family members, etc. All those things are outside the bubble, and in a cowardly way, the cheater doesn't want to face reality. But the thing is, the cheater knows exactly what they are doing. Never let a cheater tell you it was a mistake. It wasn't. It was a decision they made. They chose to lie to their partners and push families to the side. For selfish reasons, they decide to risk everything so they can feel glorified and have an ego boost. And they genuinely don't think they will ever get caught, because everything is so perfect in their bubble until it's not and crap hits the fan.